welcome to one of 4 programmes featuring coverage of the 1981 Springboks tour of New Zealand. This is a rare chance to see footage of this hugely controversial tour. I'm John Taylor, and back in the 70s, I refused to play against South Africa because I believed a sporting boycott would help to bring an end to apartheid. I was in a small minority at the time, but by 1981, rugby was the only major sport still trying to maintain normal contacts. Most of the rugby-mad New Zealanders were for the tour. All Blacks v Springboks series were considered unofficial world championships, but there were some notable exceptions. Graham Murray, the New Zealand captain, and veteran centre Bruce Robertson both refused to play on moral grounds. And Hart, the Halt All Racial Tours organisation, led a protest movement prepared to go to almost any lengths to prevent the tour happening. The New Zealand government declared their disapproval, but refused to deny the team visas, so the tour went ahead. But the Springboks were under siege from the moment they arrived. The first test was at Lancaster Park, Christchurch, but the build-up to it was extraordinary by any standards. The players weren't even able to stay in hotels. They stayed down in Invercargill at the tip of South Island until the Friday before the game, and then were moved into Linwood Rugby Club, where they set up a dormitory on a squash court. The players who weren't in the team were billeted with private families. Somehow, they got everybody into the ground, they kept the protesters out. And we start with the action from the first test.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a replay of highlights from yesterday's first rugby test between New Zealand and South Africa at Lancaster Park in Christchurch. This was the 35th test match played between the two sides in a rugby association that goes back 60 years to 1921. The first test match of the 10th series between the Springboks and the All Blacks. Going into this match, South Africa had won 19 games, New Zealand 13 with 2 drawn, but it must be remembered that the home team in all of the 9 preceding series before this one had won the first test. The weather at Lancaster Park in Christchurch yesterday was overcast and cold, the ground a little on the soft side. Our commentators Keith Quinn and Graham Thorne.
This is the view from high above the number 3 stand at Lancaster Park, and at 2:20 today, about 5 minutes ago, about 50 demonstrators ran onto the centre of the Lancaster Park pitch in a matter of 3 minutes. The riot squad had completely taken those demonstrators from the field, and there are the last of the demonstrators being taken out there, and the advertising hoardings being put up again, perhaps to act as defence of the ground in that particular area. And there is a group of officials from the local rugby union on the park inspecting for tacks and other bits of glass. They're well coordinated in a line, and as you can see, are searching very closely to see if there's any foreign matter on the pitch. There is a very big demonstration march also encircling the ground here at Lancaster Park in Christchurch. Well, let's look at the teams for today's game. The New Zealand team has a new captain, Andy Dalton, and has 11 of the team that played and won so well against Scotland 2 months ago. In the backs, Fred Woodman is the only new test player. He'll be on the right wing today with Bernie Fraser on the left and Stu Wilson moving across to the centre position. The remainder of the backs stay the same, with Loveridge, Rollison and Jefford close to the scrum. In the forwards, 2 old-timers, if that's the term, come back. Ken Stewart and John Ashworth, both of whom have retired or stopped playing at various stages of recent years, are brought back into the All Black Test team. Graham Higginson returns too after injury. He returns to partner Andy Hayden at lock, and Ashworth joins Gary Knight and the captain Andy Dalton in the front row. The South African team, by comparison, has 5 new test players, and 4 of them are in the forwards. The newcomer in the backs is Darius Botha, who joins his brother Nas in the back line, Darius playing on the left wing. The centres, Willie du Plessis and Danny Gerber, are outside Nas Botha, and it's Nas Botha whose deadly kicking accuracy, both for goal and for distance and placement, will be vital to South Africa's winning chances today. In the forwards, Eben Janssen the flanker, Henny Becker the lock, and both the props, Hempis du Toy and Henning van Asbergen, are new test caps. The other 4 in the pack, though, are the top men of South African modern test forward play. Robbie Cockrell, the hooker who began as a test player in 1974, the brilliant number 8 loose forward Rob Lowe, the great line-out leaper Louis Moolman at lock wearing number 5, and the captain and the other flanker, Björn Stockberg. There's Björn Stockberg with the South African team. captaining for the second time his country, and here they come. And a great moment as Andy Dalton from Counties leads the All Black team onto the field. Captain for the first time, Andy Dalton. So today's referee, Laurie Prideaux, begins the match. And that perhaps might be an indication of what the All Blacks are going to do as Danny Herbert takes it across the touchline. With me again in the commentary box today is Graham Thorne.
Well, there's some questions that have got to be answered today in this first test, especially in the loose forward play. The 3 New Zealand loose forwards against the 3 South African loose forwards, the 2 heavy men, plus Rob Lowe, the catcher at the back, the fetcher with Kenny Stewart.
Good take by Maxton. Leverage away to Rollison. Has the first high test for Casey Pina. Loose ball on the 22. That's Doug Rollison, and he is obviously looking to put pressure on Casey Pina's shaky reputation under the high ball. Back to Dave Loveridge, one away to Rollison. Jefford was standing flat-footed at halfway. Rock back to Andy Jefford. Darius Porter's got an intercept. 22 being chased by Wilson. What a great tackle. Alan Hewson, the fullback, puts it out.
Well, a bad pass by the All Blacks there. It started from Andy Jefford, who was standing flat-footed. It looked like they didn't know what was going to happen in the back line, and that was very dangerous for New Zealand.
Down towards one for South Africa. Look out for the Nasport drop kicks. The New Zealand team will have to be careful not to offend. There goes the drop kick. It's wide, and Fred Woodman is across. No, it's Bernie Fraser, left wing. There he is, obviously the vital man for the South Africans' winning chance today. Hayden beats Moolman that time. That's Stoffberg looking for support. He's got it from Henny Becker, just 10 metres out. Down and up, the referee was involved. It's back for the drop kick from Porter. And that's the first points on the board, and Porter has done it again. Nas Porter puts the Springboks into the early lead.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. It was a bit of a mess up in the line, and Andy Hayden got a touch to it, and it was Stoffberg who took it forward, and Henny Becker drove on, the big man, the big second rower, and then it was a good clean feed. Now watch Porter, he's got all the time in the world. He's deadly with the right foot. There it is, all the time in the world. Jefford tried to knock it down, but it was 3 points.
Knock on by the New Zealand team. Another scrum. 2 big packs. New Zealand front with Gary Knight, Andy Dalton, John Ashworth, nearest us.
Well, both hookers want the advantage. They want to be in the position so they know they're going to hook the ball. This is where Robbie Cockrell's got to be right before he can go down. He knows that he's got to strike that ball first.
Grabbing across to the left to straighten up. Serpentine. Turn. The big locks flick it back to Devan Serpentine. That's Alan Hewson on the 22. Springboks went over the top, and the expression is killing the ball, so they're penalised just inside the 22. Alan Hewson was under that one, and he's taken a knock. Remember, he is the lightest man in the field, probably, and he went under some very big beef from South Africa that time. Well, here's a chance for Brian McKechnie. He'll come down and warm up if Hewson will be replaced. It looks like Hewson is not going to be able to carry on. And the special cheer for one of the great men of temperament in New Zealand sport in recent years, Brian McKechnie. He's not wearing number 19 this time as he comes on. Remember how he came on as replacement against Wales, wearing that number 19, and turned out to be the match winner. Today it's 20, but Brian McKechnie going back to fullback. 5 or 6ers. Even Janssen backing into his own man. Hayden is in there with it. Serpentine away to Porter again. This is going to put the pressure on McKechnie. He likes to catch the early ones, but it's Fraser. Yes, that'll be a confidence booster for Brian McKechnie. Remember when he came on against Wales in that famous game in '78? The first kick went to him in a difficult position. He caught it beautifully and put it away for a good touch finder. And that was a confidence booster to him in that game. Perhaps that one we've just seen will be the same for him here in 1981. It's Van Oswegen. Dalton towing through to Ray Mort, who's caught. 22-metre line. That's back, nicely protected for Serpentine. Back to Bota. Bernie Fraser. Straight into 2 or 3 of the South African team, and then up quickly. Fiery Bernie Fraser on the left wing for the New Zealand team, and that's his first real run with the ball for this very popular All Black left winger. So Cockrell to throw. South Africans are getting good line-out ball. Serpentine, big ball back to Bolter. They're running this one. Duplessis kick. McKechnie is coming over and covered it across the touchline.
Well, that's the first time that Nas Bota has actually passed the ball. The game's been going nearly a quarter of an hour. It seems like the tactics are to kick it most times, but if the All Black backs don't come up quickly enough, as they didn't then, they can pass it out to Herbert or Duplessis, who put the big kick across.
The match restarts. Long ball to Ken Stewart. What a good catch. Low on his back. Shaw. Loveridge. Good run by Loveridge. High ball out towards Fraser. Knock on against Bernie Fraser. Some good lively running, and Ken Stewart and Mark Shaw in good combination. Collapse at the front row again. It's a collapsing penalty against the New Zealand team. Penalties and free kicks favour South Africa by 3-2 at the moment. Going back to try and recover this one. Not ruled a knock on. Look how Moolman went through there. He turned Jefford over. South Africans might have this one. No, it's gone to New Zealand. The way to Rollison.
Well, Laurie Prideaux, the referee, played the advantage there for the McKechnie knock-on, right back with that high up and under by Nas Bota, which was good refereeing by Laurie Prideaux. Everybody thought that he was going to let that play go, but he has the option of just letting it go as long as he wants to.
Could be on again here for the drop kick for Bota. It's handy to the posts.
The All Blacks have got to try and wheel the scrum to the right, to their right, so that they can stop Serpentine passing out to Bota on his right. If they can wheel that scrum towards the touchline, they're going to cut off the access that Serpentine's got.
That's a tight hit. Rollison into open space. Fraser coming through. It's been left behind. Stu Wilson finally kicked it on. 5 minutes gone, first half. Nas Bota's drop goal to 0. Penalties and free kicks now. A lot of them coming from lineouts. 5 to South Africa, 3 to New Zealand.
There's a lot of niggly play going on at the back of that line. A lot of pulling and pushing, as most number 7s and number 8s do more pulling and pushing than jumping, actually.
What was the thinking there, Graham? He tapped it. He could have kicked it out in the full anyway because it was a penalty. It didn't indicate a free kick.
I think that probably Serpentine should have passed it to him in further. Because it was close to the right-hand touchline, he was kicking with his right foot. It might have been a bit difficult.
Here's Ken Stewart and Mixted trying for the loose ball. Shaw, the third loose man, is there. Doug Rollison with the drop kick. Low and flat and away to the left. crowd from the terrace. About 35 to 40,000 people here today. Serpentiner, what's this one? A penalty just time to New Zealand.
That was pushing at the back of the line out there on Mexted as he went to take that ball.
Man giving the directions. There's the Springbok captain, Chen Stoffberg. And it looks like this one could go out for a high kick. That's a little movement. Oh, what a good move. Woodman. Pressure now on the Springboks at the 22. Big Hayden making giant strides. And Murray Mexted going through, but that was an interesting and new variation on the tap penalty.
Well, I think the South Africans thought it was going to be another bomb.
So they're keeping the South Africans thinking. Now a good position for the New Zealand team.
Brian McKechnie's right out to the right of your picture.
Got it, narrow side. Loveridge kicking through. This is Rob Lowe, corner flag. And Rob Lowe just taking the touchline as his sanctuary as Woodman came through. 28 minutes gone.
New Zealand have been pushing the ball towards the end of the line out. Number 8, Mexted there.
Goal line is right there. Scrum is called by Laurie Prideaux. The crowd watching the referee. When his arm went up for the New Zealand put in, there's a healthy cheer going up. Dalton's got the hook. Mexted off. Loveridge to Rollison. He's in. He's in.
Well, just as that try was scored against Scotland at Eden Park, it's a very simple move. Mexted just gets it. Now watch Rollison at pace. You watch him now. He's coming, and there he is, very close to Dave Loveridge. He looked like he wasn't going to make it. The corner flag at the far of your picture, but the old arms went out, and the try was awarded.
Rollison attempting to convert his own try. Close by, but to the right post as we look at it here. 4 points to 3. So New Zealand in the lead. 32 minutes gone in the first half. With Alan Hewson having left the field and been replaced by Brian McKechnie, and Henny Becker is offside. Jefford is the kicker. This is Ray Mort. And Wilson and Fraser, two great friends and colleagues, comrades on the rugby trail. Fix Ray Mort well and truly. That was the wipers kick across field by Andy Jefford, who's played a lot of rugby here in Christchurch, was 3 seasons in Canterbury. Knows the ground well. For Loveridge. He's got Stoffberg at the same time. Rollison crashing into Serpentine. Ken Stewart with him. Loveridge, the blind side, into Gary Knight. Lost. Becker has it. Serpentine.
Well, New Zealand have upped their game in the last 5 or 10 minutes. They're starting to look like a side. Perhaps the build-up wasn't as good as they'd like today, and now they know they're in a test match. But South Africa is still being able to get that loose ball, and they're controlling it. In that situation, they'd controlled it a lot. They weren't going to lose that ball at all.
Eben Janssen towards the back. Stoffberg behind for the South African team. Rob Lowe is off the back. Hayden getting up. Mexted tapped it down. Higginson does the tidying up. Loveridge, Rollison, here's the Testing ball for Nasporter and Pina, but it was Danny Kerber who got it away to Willie Duplessis. McKechnie has the bounce. Porter claiming a fair catch. The referee gave it to him, and McKechnie's down.
Well, McKechnie kicked over the top, but as he went past, he just got a knee in the groin. Here it comes. He picks it up well. Now, what you can see, he's got to kick now because there's lots of players around. So he kicks, and, well, it could have been dubious. I don't think I would have liked to have given a late tackle for that, Keith.
Now Jeffords kicking back from Porter's free kick. That's where play will start again at the line-out. New Zealand ball throw-in. The line-out count is now 11-9, with the New Zealand team picking its game up in the last few minutes. It's closed up the gap in the line-out count. 11-9, the South Africans have won just slightly more ball now. Mixed-it held back there, it looked like. Referee Prideaux was not in a good position to see. Stewart away to Wilson. Stu Wilson. That's a try, and a brilliant one for the flying Wellington centre.
Well, you see a lot of obstruction at the back there between Maxted and Lowe, but then it was Ken Stewart that was there. The ball seemed to be kicked through by Jeffert, and Stewart picked it up, but Jeffert was in front of him. Now watch Stewart Wilson. That's the same sort of try he scored against Scotland, but two Springboks were converging, but he had the pace and the strength to go over for the try.
Oh, what a fine player, Stewart Wilson of Wellington. Rollison has the kick at 8-3. It's handy enough for possibly two more. To 3 with Rollison's conversion. And that is half-time. The whistle going from referee Laurie Prideaux of England, and New Zealand with tries by Rollison and Wilson. A Rollison conversion to a Nasporter penalty goal. New Zealand leading South Africa at half-time by 10 points to 3. Begins the second half, and Nasporter kicks off with New Zealand having a 7-point lead at half-time. Here's John Ashworth, and he's ruled offside. He's ruled offside, and the crowd took that one in stunned silence, really, Graham Thorne. Well,
there seemed to be a knock-on from the kick-off by South Africa, and then another knock-on by New Zealand, and then Mr. Prideaux penalises Ashworth for the penalty.
So here are the most famous feet in South Africa, belonging to Nasporter, and he's about 40 metres out on the angle. Second shot at goal for penalty today. That's his second miss from place kicks. He's missed two now. Loveridge away this time. Jefford, McKechnie up, the replacement fullback, and he was taken in the head high. The crowd is booing. McKechnie is on the ground. Play goes on. Darius Porter covering. Fraser got through on Pina. This is Darius Porter covering from the left wing. McKechnie is down. You might see him in the foreground here. There he is. And Loveridge. And it's out. Mixted nearly got it. Ken Stewart has it to Shaw, to Mixted. Thrown down right on the line. Mark Shaw. Try number 3 for Mark Shaw.
Well, after that great kick from Dave Loveridge, the ball went, was a Moorman tap. Now watch how the action starts now, where the All Blacks are going forward, the Springboks and all sorts of array. Kenny Stewart with the headband, Mark Shaw there with the burst inside. Now Mark Shaw gets up, watch Mark Shaw, he's down on the ground now. Suddenly the ball rolls out to him, no one there, and over for the try.
Well, a miss there by Rollison. 14-3 it'll be. kicks off. Out on the full, getting a bit rattled perhaps, the South African team.
Nas Border doesn't make too many mistakes, but he has missed the line a couple of times today, and that is a very bad kickoff. Just what the All Blacks wanted. A scrum on halfway in the middle, and there put him.
Stockberg took his eye off the ball and looked at Woodman. So it's down in the corner with pressure on the South African line. 3 tries to 0. Rollison having a word. Here's the move. This is what it's going to be, lads. Short throw by the Springboks to Millman. Hayden's got it. Untidy. Dalton. That's the corner flag just ahead. But again, we go back to a South African put in. So Robert Cockrell to throw. A few more in the line this time. Good jump by Becker. Referee's got it in his view. Loose ball. Butter.
Well, the referee declared that Rob Lowe had actually forced the ball down before he gave it to Butter. So everything's on now for the New Zealand 5-metre scrum. They've got quite a big blind, 15-metre blind, but McKechnie's right out in the middle, so perhaps it might be another number 8 move.
It's Shaw again, driving off Mexted. So it's even closer now than that previous 5-metre scrum.
And they've got a bigger blind side. Perhaps the number 8, like they did with Rollison's try, go the blind side.
It's clear, swung to Rollison for a drop kick from his left boot. So rather cast away the chance that time. Doug Rollison with the miss from the drop kick attempt. Higginson took that one. Gary Knight. Mark Shaw with him. Ken Stewart. Now Fraser getting through now on Serpentine. Loose ball. Played beautifully. That's Ashworth. New Zealand getting a number of good positions for put-ins here. Mexted lining up on the left side of the back position. Clear this way to Rollison. Wilson coming through straight at them. Up to Mexted. Out in front of the post by about 15 metres. Jefford with the drop kick. Well, every time New Zealand have tried a drop kick attempt today, the ball has gone flat and low. I think there's only 3 misses altogether.
I think they've got to the stage where they're up by 14 points to 3 and they want an extra 3 points quickly, but they had an overlap on the right, it looked like, and Jefford had a drop kick.
Bright sunshine. Players looking towards that kick would be in trouble, shading their eyes. That's Eben Janssen. Serpentine to Porter. That's another kick that hasn't found the line. Rollison running hard. Hayden there looked like it might have been knocked on. No, it's away this time to Jefford. Long pass to cut out. Wilson trying to flick it on to Fraser. Pienaar taking it across, but we're back to midfield where Wilson's pass was quite obviously forward out to Bernie Fraser on the left wing. The game restarts. Serpentine wearing the bandage around the head, and another strike for Andy Dalton off Cockrell. Rollison to Wilson, caught by Billy Duplessis. Loveridge again, probing the narrow side, kicking ahead for Woodman. Darius Porter, just about at the 22-metre line. I think this is New Zealand loose forwards are going pretty well. I think it's one of the best games I've seen Murray Mexted play for some time.
Well, I don't think that Murray Mexter has been like this since the Australian tour when he got that virus before the third test. And in Wales he wasn't 100%, but now he's really charging into everything.
That's a free kick against Dave Loveridge, back at the put-in. Time gone is 20 minutes, second half. History is against the touring team, winning the first test of a Springboks All Blacks series. The touring team, whether it be in South Africa or New Zealand, has never won the first test. Serpentine, Morta running the ball, Gerber, Ray Mort, Duplessis, Woodman. 22, Fred Woodman, to Andy Dalton, down and dumped it and up. That's Ken Stewart with the ball there. Good one for the All Blacks to win. Now Rollison with the drop kick. And again a miss.
Well, I think it's becoming an obsession now among the All Black backs to have a pot. Then they had everything going for them. They had the Springboks in all sorts of disarray. Ken Stewart went in and got the ball and came back well to Loveridge, but then Rollison decided that he'd have a pot.
That's 4 drop kick attempts New Zealand's had in the game, and they've missed. So Loveridge has distributed the ball well. 3 drop kick attempts by Rollison have all missed, and 1 by Jefford. Becker going high, Moorman taking it. Serpentine, Borta. Ken Stewart grabbed at him. McKechnie coming in with a great catch, just like an Aussie rules footballer. Loveridge to Rollison. Hooking it back in like a basketballer to Wilson. That's Eben Janssen, whose brother Yogi Janssen was a key man for the Springboks in 1970 in the centre position. And the Springboks are just kept back in this ruthless period of pressure by the New Zealand team. You see 3 New Zealanders through, hanging onto the shoulder of Nas Borta as he made that kick. The Springboks are in a real bottleneck here at the moment. Ashworth got the deflection. Loveridge tapped off his fingers and put out by Doug Rollison. Hayden's further down the back for that one. That's Empress to Toy. Serpentine clears it to Borta. To Willie Duplessis, now Danny Gerber, up over halfway, what a great move. Danny Gerber, the man inside of him is Stuart Stoffberg, out to the 22 and he's rolled it ahead. Borta, won't be a try there as Fraser comes across on Borta. Stoffberg's pass was forward, but there are the Springboks bravely trying to break out. And Darius Borta goes down after Fraser came in high to stop him on the goal line. 13 minutes to go. New Zealand leading by 14 points to 3. Loveridge with the ball. It's another kick that's not found touch. Casey Pienaar changing his mind, starting to run. Brave fight back by the South African team. Duplessis. Now it's Gerber with the ball again. Running into Higginson. Loveridge. Casey Pienaar back. Ray Mort. Oh, a punch up now in midfield. Fraser's involved. And this is bad indeed. Darius Borta came in and dropped someone from behind. Why did that start, Graham Thorne? It was slightly to the right of our cameras, I think.
I think it was the late tackle on Casey Pina, if anything. I don't think it was a late tackle, but Casey Pina took exception to it. Here's the replay. There goes the pass from Casey Pina, and Woodman hit him a little high, and he didn't like it in his shoulder, and that's where it started right back.
Was Bernie Fraser. So a penalty has been given to South Africa, and that is 10 minutes to go. The kick right down to the corner.
Well, now from that penalty kick that Nas Botha has put South Africa right on attack, 10 metres out from the goal line.
So Staunton going across. I'm sure there was a general warning there from Mr. Preto, and Lockie Cameron is down on the sideline warming up. 14-3, 3 tries to 0. Serpentine now away to Nas Botha. Oh, nice little break and kicking wide for his brother. Now Brett Woodman got across and put it out. Still a good margin. I'm just wondering which of the New Zealand backs is in trouble with that injury if Cameron is down there. Looks like it could be Wilson. He's had trouble, and Wilson is limping off. He had trouble in the build-up to this match. Stuart Wilson going off after scoring a brilliant try in the first half. So that's why Cameron is there. But Wilson will have to be checked by a doctor before the replacement can be made. So Mark Shaw coming onto the wing. Looks like they're playing Woodman in a sort of central position. You see the New Zealand team just getting organised. Shaw's going to play his defensive back role there. And Cameron now comes in. Lachlan Cameron of Manawatu replaces Stuart Wilson. So 2 replacements in the backs by the All Blacks in this game. To go in the game. Kenny Becker lifting off another man. Ken Stewart was in for the crash tackle on Becker. And Rollison clears to touch. And a great reception being given Stuart Wilson as he leaves the field. One of the most admired players in the game in this country at the moment. Back live, the action continues with Kenny Stewart. And now look at Dalton, the captain, go. Popping it up. Off to Mark Shaw, who's already scored a try, putting it right back on the South Africans. Loveridge. Rollison. High kick across field. Pienaar's under it. Pienaar takes it to himself, staying behind the 22. Away to Bernie Fraser. High ahead. The kick he's bearing down on Mort. Awful lot of long kicking in this match, which hasn't found the line. Rollison got it on the switch. Higginson.
I think that's one aspect of play that for a test match has been very bad, and that's the number of times the ball hasn't found touch. And at this level of rugby football, it shouldn't happen.
Coming for Loveridge. Just a little nudge ahead. Nas Botha there, and he's safely at the touchline.
The pressure's being kept on by Loveridge and Rollison, pushing South Africa right back into their 22.
That's Lockie Cameron, the new man in the back line, passing the message out. They put their hands up so that the opposition can't hear the calls. Higginson taps it down nicely. Rollison, it's the high one. It's going to come down under the H. Scramble. A knock-on rule. Knock-on in goal.
By South Africa.
Last quarter. Trying to run it out from there. That's brave stuff. Ray Mort. No, that's Gerber. Well, the Springboks full marks for trying. That's Rob Lowe. Seppertain. This is Ray Mort. To Stockberg. Fraser intercepts. And Fraser goes down. Seppertain over the top. The referee looking closely. Woodman going back to position. 2 injuries in the New Zealand backs. They can't replace any more. So just on 5 minutes to go. Cockrell's throw. New Zealand put in. Pina and Ray Mort. This is Gerber and Cameron. One player who's not been so dominant today as I thought he might be is Louis Moolman. Loveridge shoveled to Rollison. Pina. Lots of backing behind Rollison this time. There's Moolman in on him. It's inside the 22. Higginson was in there very quickly, did it well to support the man making the catch. New Zealand making progress with possession and the team in the defensive side of the half, so they get the put in. There's big Louis Moolman. His 13th test match today as a lock. Played alongside 2 of the New Zealanders a few months ago in Cardiff at the World Invitation 15. And then when he played his first test in 1977, Moolman marked Andy Hayden. It was against the World Invitation 15. It was another match in which South Africa awarded official international caps. Louis Moolman. And Moolman gets, I think, one of his first two-handed catches, certainly of the half. Porter now. Duplessis, a long pass. Pina's up. Ray Mort. Fraser's making his tackles. Bernie Fraser, to me, doesn't look as nearly as sharp. I think he's bothered by an injury. So the New Zealand winning advantage not really under threat here at the moment. 2 minutes left. The Springboks have been pretty brave towards the end here. Mortar running it. Danny Gerber. Lockie Cameron hanging on. Now Ray Mort swinging a good pass. Into Moolman. And it's Henny Becker that got the try.
Well, South Africa deserved a try. They had been deprived of 3 tries by almost bad luck, and then it was Gerber that started. Now the play comes to the right, and then big Henny Becker's one. Rob Lowe starts to come into play there. Now on the right, when Mort is just tackled round the top by Gary Knight, there's number 4, big Henny Becker, and he had the power to get over in the corner for the try.
And there's Becker out of the view. The kick is over. So it's 14 points to 9. And South Africa are up close enough to perhaps sneak a win. The clock shows 1 minute to go. 14 to 9. I think the first test in 1956 was 14 to 9.
14-10.
So Doug Rollison really taking his time with this one. So it's all on from the kickoff. South Africa must throw caution to the wind. Even Janssen with the ball. He's well covered. Here's Moolman. Serpentine. Botha. A kick is needed. McKechnie. Calm as usual. Puts it out. Referee looking at his watch. The match is over. McKechnie put it out. And New Zealand have won. Holding off a strong fight back in the last few minutes by the Springboks. And the battle is over with New Zealand having won by 3 tries to 1 and 14 points to 9. And a big moment for Andy Dalton, captain of the All Blacks for the first time. And he's really done a fine job, led them from the front and led them to their 14-9 win. Tries for New Zealand were scored by Rollison and Wilson in the first half and by Shaw in the second. Rollison added a conversion for 14 points. South Africa scored 1 try to Henny Becker. Now Porter kicks the drop goal and a conversion. New Zealand 14, South Africa 9, and history continues with the touring team never winning a first test in a New Zealand-South Africa series.
So 1-0 to the All Blacks. But as the respected South African journalist Dan Retief, commenting on the oppressive nature of the build-up, noted, by the time the players had run onto the pitch, they were psychologically and mentally drained. And this may in some measure have accounted for their lacklustre play and inability to change their tactics when they ran into trouble. As a result, they lost, but it was only 14-9, and this was only the first test. There were still 2 to play in the series. Could the Springboks fight back? Tune in again to find out.